Well, hi everyone. Welcome to another installment of our Female Founder series. I'm Rachel Allard here with Priyanka Johri. Hopefully I got that right.
Right.
Perfect. She is the founder and broker owner of Woodlands Eco Realty in Texas, which is a really unique brokerage. So I'm super excited to hear a little bit more about your model and how you started. But I'm hoping maybe you can sort of take us back to the beginning. I know you have a background in science and geology, is that right?
Mhm. So I used to be a petroleum geologist, and I always loved freedom. And I thought, being a geologist, I'm going to spend time out in the field, away from people, and just be, with myself and studying rocks and science. Geology is really fascinating to me, but the freedom was the main thing that attracted me towards geology. But once I became a petroleum geologist, Shell hired me, brought me to Houston. And as the years progressed and I got promoted, it became like, hey, you can't go out in the field. You need to be here in the office and looking at data, subsurface data kind of thing. And over the years, they would let me go for the conferences, field trips kind of thing. But it came to a point where it says like, nope, you're no longer allowed to go out. You're too valuable. Your time is too valuable to us. You are more valuable in office versus outside, which kind of just suffocated me. So last 2 or 3 years was really not that happy for me. I was really miserable, to put it mildly. And I did not make a great employee at that point, because when you have lost your motivation, you're not putting your 110%, right? So I knew it wasn't good for the company, it wasn't good for me, but I was also into animal rescue, which I still am. And that was what we call golden shackles that kept me in that job for a little too long. uh, Money was good, and that money supported my animal sanctuary.
Mhm.
And finally, it came to the point where it's just like, I can't even breathe. Like, I'm so miserable, so unhappy. I need to walk away. I know I have enough savings. I'm just going to tap into it to support the animal sanctuary and figure out what I want to do. And geologists are always in demand. So I knew that I kind of have that safety net. Like, if I want to come back to the industry, I can. Worst case scenario, I can take 6 months sabbatical, a year sabbatical, if I don't find anything else. So I quit my job. I started doing different things. So I started multiple companies. So there was one that was Indus Valley Yoga. So I was teaching people yoga coming from Indian background. I was really stressed in my job. And there was a point where they thought I had cancer. And it was a point where my doctor said, like, you need to get away from stress because that's what's causing the cancer. And I went to India. I didn't want to go through chemotherapy and all that kind of thing. So I went to India. Uh, One of my uh, oncologists was from India. She said, Priyanka, cancer is curable, but you have to do certain things. You have to basically cleanse your lifestyle, eat organic food, fresh air, no stress kind of thing. Go to India for some time. So I went there for a couple of months, ended up there for a month, came back, they did my test and said, maybe we were mistaken. You didn't have cancer because I have lymph nodes swollen, and they were sending it all out kind of thing. It was kind of weird, but then I got introduced to MD Anderson Cancer Center that were using yoga for cancer patients. So I don't do anything, halfway. I said, oh, I want to learn, being a scientist, like how yoga helps you. I mean, this is weird. Growing up in India, I also thought of yoga as focus because I was a modern girl. So my parents were into it. So of course, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. But just getting involved with MD Anderson and learning about yoga, I got my yoga therapist license, learning like how yoga actually makes the chemical changes in your body kind of thing. So because of that, when I quit my job, I said, okay, I'm gonna start a yoga center. So I started that. It didn't make much money. We have a lot of people coming, but it's just the amount of money you need to support a sanctuary wasn't enough. Then I started Sustainable Living Institute. I live in the Woodlands. Woodlands is established community that is like living with nature concept kind of thing. We don't have that much concrete. The trees have been left alone. You come over here, it seems like you're living in a forest. So I said, okay, so we have population over here. So it's like preaching to a choir. Those people are already practicing living with nature kind of thing. So that didn't work. But while I was a geologist, I used to invest in real estate. So it came to the point where like in 2 years, I have used all my savings. It was like, okay, I need to go back to the industry. I cannot survive anymore. I have burned all my money and I still need to take care of my animals because we have special need dogs. So our expenses are really high. We have hospice dogs, special need dogs, sick and injured dogs that come to the sanctuary. So I did not want to quit that. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to take a deep breath, go back to the industry and do the same thing. But I need to have something real quick come in. So I flipped a home, which I haven't been doing, and I made good money. I said, oh, let me do another one. So after doing 2 or 3 more of those, like, why I'm thinking about going back to the industry and be miserable when I can do this. So I became a real estate investor, and it was bringing in money to pay for the sanctuary and taking care of the animals. But then, because I have been talking about going back to the industry, few of my colleagues were talking to me about it. I was like, what happened? Like, we were thinking you're coming back. I was like, oh, I'm making good income doing this, so I'm not coming back. And they got curious, like, tell us more about it. Then they wanted me to be their realtor, and I was going through different realtors. And my fifth realtor was like, Priyanka, if I could think like an investor, I would be an investor instead of realtor. You're asking me to put together a deal that I cannot even fathom. And I was just like, you are so right. I mean, yes, why are you not investing in real estate kind of thing? And I said, okay, I'm going to go get my own real estate license. And it was strictly for helping some of my colleagues and myself. But then people started coming and said, like, hey, can you help me buy a house? And because you're such a good negotiator, and I was just like, no, but I'm not a realtor. I'm an investor. I have a license, but I don't want to do that. One of my past colleague called me. He said, like, I don't care you're a realtor or not. I need a good deal for my house. My wife wants a bigger house, so you are it. So just because of our friendship, something like that, I said, okay, I'll do that traditional retail sale kind of thing. But we negotiated such a good deal. They had $26,000 in equity that moment they closed. The appraisal was so much higher. And I was like, yeah, this is fun. So I started doing this here and there just for family and friends and colleagues kind of thing. And 3 years later, my accountant called me and she said, hey, you did really good towards your brokerage side like you did towards the investment side. I was like, what are you talking about? She said, oh, the numbers I'm looking at is just like really well. And she gave me the amount. I was like, how much money did I make? And when she repeated that, I said, but I only work in the summer because most of the people were moving in summer. So it's like 2-3 months that I help other people. And usually I didn't get many investment deals during summer because there's so many buyers out there, so many homes in the market. It's not a good investor market. So that used to be my slow season. And suddenly I found that niche where I can work throughout the year, doing my investments in off season and then helping out traditional buyers and sellers. So it just kept growing on its own. People kept referring me, my past clients, like, always like, oh, you need to use Priyanka kind of thing. So business kept coming and just brokerage grew. So I wish I can take the credit for it, but it has been a very organic growth.
That's an amazing story. Wow. I love the fact too that not only did this happen organically, because, it seems like you could say, listening to that story, well, this is accidental. And I hear a lot of people who are unhappy bankers or unhappy lawyers, or, they're in a career and in a life that they're not passionate about. And you clearly, are so passionate about what you're doing right now. I love that.
I know I call myself accidental realtor. Like anytime people ask, like, how did you become a realtor? So I'm a completely accidental realtor. It wasn't planned.
Yeah. Well, but it takes a lot of courage also to be able to switch careers. And so I'm kind of curious thinking about other people who may watch this video and think like, oh, well, of course I want to do what Priyanka did and I'm afraid. What do you say to those people?
I was afraid too, and I wish I had taken steps 2 or 3 years earlier than when I did. So
Mhm.
I lived in that fear for that 2 or 3 years where I just like how I'm going to support my sanctuary. That was the main thing for me. Like I'm responsible for these dogs that I have taken under my care, and I do not want to give that up. And that's my passion. Like that's my life's calling. So no matter even today what happens, that is the focus. That's the center, and everything evolves around can I take care of, my sanctuary dogs?
Mhm.
So when I ran out of money, that was the main thing. Like, okay, I need to go back to the industry, but the fear of going back and being miserable much stronger. So I was looking for that out, and I never ever actually thought of real estate as a viable option. So even when I started investing, I was thinking of it as a temporary. Like I have multiple degrees. I'm a scientist. I was never a businesswoman. My family has never been into a business. Actually, I'm from India, so my family looked down upon business people. So my mom was like really shocked when I told her that I'm getting into real estate. So she was not shocked when I quit my job and said, I'm going to try different things. But she was shocked that I was going into business. And then business of real estate. I mean, this is just like, salespeople, like you have gone to college and got degrees and you're becoming a salesperson. I don't think she still has wrapped her head around it.
Even with you being so successful.
I know, because education is a big thing in our family. Like my father was a teacher, and that's what they see us as. Like, okay, you can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, you can be a scientist, you can be a teacher, but that's about it. It's very small box that you fit in our culture from my family.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you mentioned your passion clearly for your animals too, and I saw the phrase people, pets, and planet that comes up a lot, and that's kind of how you talk about your business now. And I love the fact that you found this niche early on, both combining your love of and knowledge of investing, and then also brokering transactions for what started as friends and family, and then also combining that the woodlands culture with a love of animals and that investment expertise. So I'm kind of curious. I mean, how do do you see the niche movement growing, and do you feel like that has contributed to the success of the brokerage? It seems like you were really smart at saying, here are the things I love and here are the things that I'm good at, so I'm going to go all in on that.
Um, I'm a very, very strong personality person. I do the things that I want to do. And that has been story of my life even since childhood. And it was really hard for me growing up in India because I did not fit the typical girl role or typical woman role and did not fit in the culture because of that. I used to think it was very selfish because that's a cultural norm over there. Like you do it for things to please everybody. And if you're doing things for yourself, then you're a selfish person. So I had that negative feeling about it. Even coming over here and doing things like I wanted to be a geologist, it was my thing that I wanted to be a geologist, not somebody else's, because I wanted a freedom of anything. So once I started the animal sanctuary part, my dogs are over here. They want to talk. Once I started the animal sanctuary part, I think that was my way of giving back. Just feeling like I am doing something for somebody else, and that made me feel better about myself. It's like really weird, like it's looking back. I didn't think that way when I was doing it, but now that I look back, like why I got into it and why I got so involved with it, I think it just made me feel better. Um, so as the years progressed, I realized when I'm happy and I'm doing things for myself, I'm much more passionate and successful in that particular thing that I'm doing. And also, I'm more open to help other people because I'm successful and I have resources. And that's where that, what you're asking came from, like, doing things that I am good at, doing things that I want to do it, and I'm good at because I want to do that. It's just kind of self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing. Yeah. And once I realized that, I realized I don't have to be good at everything. And my Shell career has really helped me in that. So a couple of things Shell did when I joined Shell as a petroleum geologist, they have vast training and it's not just related to geology. So one of the things I still remember in a class was, actually it was a manager who came to my office like, what are you trying to do? And I said, oh, I'm trying to figure this thing out. He's like, yeah, but you're not good at it. I said, I know, that's why I'm spending so much time learning it. Like, yeah, but you will do a mediocre job of it. That's why we built teams. So you have this other team member, why don't you go and ask him to help you with this part of the project? And I was like, no, I'm weak at this. And I need to learn so I can get better at it. And she just looked at me and said, Priyanka, we didn't hire you for your weaknesses. We hired you for your strength. So do what you're good at and let somebody else do what they are good at. And that's how you work in a team. And it was a light bulb going on because I was always taught, like, work on your weaknesses. I was like, absolutely. Why don't you find somebody who's good at what you're weak at and just join forces? And
Mhm.
another thing that I learned at Shell that made me really good in my real estate was negotiations.
Mhm.
They sent me for a negotiation class, and the instructor, I don't remember much from that class, but one thing that stuck with me, the instructor said, if you are sitting down on a table and you walk away feeling smug that you got the last dollar out from that other person and you got the great deal, and that person walks away feeling miserable, it wasn't a good deal. You should be walking away from the table where both parties think they got what they wanted. That's a great deal. And I was like, but then you are losing. Like, if they are thinking then you did not get all the things that you wanted out of negotiation. He's like, that's it, all the things. So what other things other than money that somebody else may be motivated for? And that has changed my real estate, investing so much, because when I go and making offers for to sellers, distressed sellers or something like that, I'm not looking for, like, oh, I want to buy this house at the cheapest value. I'm looking at, like, what else can I do that can help you? You're selling because you're distressed. Of course, you need help. Where can I help you? And sometimes I have paid more than I should have, but they have helped me with something else. Like, they were buying another house, so they had mom or dad or brother or sister. They'd like, oh, this is such a good realtor. She helped us out. And I got more business out of it. And sometimes it was simple things like, I can't move because I don't have money to move, or I'm so tired, I'm older, I can't pack all the things that I've accumulated in 30 years. And just sending us people, and it's like, okay, we'll help you with that. We'll help you move. We will help you pack, whatever you need. And small things make such a big difference in putting a deal together. Anything. So I really learned a lot. Like, people say, like, how can from geology and petroleum geology, you're coming into real estate, they don't even overlap. A lot of things I learned in my geology career, I'm implementing in my real estate career. And
Yeah,
now I
well,
forgot what the question was.
yeah, I mean, talking about passion
But
and developing your passion into a niche market, basically
right.
creating that market and doing what
Mhm.
you're good at. And yeah, clearly, I mean, I like what you said about also playing to your strengths. And, in marketing, we kind of have a phrase that if you have your money pages, the things that are working well, keep driving people there. Don't focus on what's underperforming, focus on what's
Right.
performing well. Um,
Exactly.
and I'm curious, I mean, you've achieved so much in this sort of, um, maybe not straight path to your career, but this sort of up and down path. What does success look like? Where do you think your passion is going to take you in the next 2 to 3 years?
So a lot of people, I used to be a very goal oriented person. I had my whole life planned. I had, like, this is what I will be doing, and this is where I will be in 5 years and 10 years, kind of thing. My life looks very different than what I had planned. And I have done things that I had planned myself, like a geology career, and I wasn't happy. And now look at me, the things that I have never planned and the form that my life has taken, I am really happy and content, which I have never would have imagined. Like, if you go back 10, 15 years back and ask that Priyanka, like, hey, what do you think about this career? I would have been like, are you crazy? Like, I will never do that. So when you're asking, like, what success looks like, to me, success, now I do not plan, like, focus on goals, because if I have been focused on goals, I would have missed a lot of opportunities that have come into my life. Now I keep my book very open. I don't know where my life is going, but it's an adventure for me. And anything new that pops up, I'm always paying attention. I
Mhm.
am more open to new ideas. I'm more open to new doors that otherwise I would have never walked through. Like today, I will.
Mhm.
So in 2 or 3 years, for me, success is as long as I'm happy and can take care of my sanctuary, that is success to me. What else happens is all just tools for me to accomplish what I want to accomplish, which is keep taking care of my dogs.
Mhm. Yeah, that's wonderful. You seem very confident in that too, which I love because really knowing yourself is definitely sort of a theme I'm getting. I'm curious because you also mentioned your friend who, when you first got into real estate, said, "Do you realize you made this much money?" In that first summer. And a lot of people who might be watching this might be thinking, "Okay, it's great to follow my passion, and I still have to pay my mortgage. I still have to, I still have to make money." And so I'm curious, knowing that you are following, staying true to yourself and maybe not setting goals as much, do you have numbers that you do look at or data that you look at with your team, weekly or monthly, or do you have things that you look at to help you keep on track? Or is it really completely about the relationships and the trusting your gut and the instinctual side?
Exactly. It's very organic. I stopped looking at numbers because normal numbers always bog me down.
Mm,
And when you get into real estate, I went to for some coaching and training. Everybody was so focused on numbers, like you have to make that many sales and you have to do this. And I'm going like, no, I mean, this is weird. What about the relationship? Just taking care of people. And I have made more money than I have put on my goal sheet. Like, so first 2 or 3 months in coaching, I was like, okay, this is a number. And it was just like, oh, we need to get more sales. We need to go get more deals. And it wasn't happening. It was not working for me. I just said, forget it. I'm not coachable, basically. And my coach told me the same thing. He's like, you are not coachable. You do your own thing. And, I said, okay, that's fine. And I'm just going to continue doing that. And as soon as I let go, it just flooded because I think suddenly I'm back into, instead of focusing that into relationships, I'm calling my clients, like, what do they need? I'm calling my friends, just talking general and being friend. All my clients become friends. Like I have maybe 1 or 2 clients that I'm not in touch with or that didn't click kind of thing, but everybody. And it's more of my clients who put an effort in our relationship versus me, which is really weird. Because a lot of people say like, oh, you need to stay in touch with your clients. I have amazing clients. And once we have that relationship, they are the ones who are stopping by. And it's like, hey, Priyanka, here's a cup of coffee, saw your car. Hey, Priyanka, let's go out for dinner. Or I haven't seen you. Oh, I'm dropping dog food for the dogs, or saw you on Facebook. Um, it's really like weird. I'm really blessed that way that I don't have to chase after my clients. They stay in my life. I'm so busy between dogs and doing the business and other things that they choose to be in my life. And I'm really grateful and thankful for that. And they're the ones who send me business. So we don't market, we don't do much. I tried several times, but I didn't get much business out of it. It was a waste of money. So I just do what I do. I take really good care of my clients. And my clients have joked about it. One time at closing, husband said, I was really worried, Priyanka. I said, why? He said, throughout the negotiations, you kept saying, we are not paying this, we are not doing this. And I was like, is she moving in with us? So, because I always make it like it's my transaction, it's my deal.
mm-hmm.
Um, and my clients like it and they appreciate that. I think they see that passion because every deal is very personal to me. It's not like, oh, they want to do this, I would let them do it. And I tell them, like, if you want to do your own thing, go find another realtor. You're hiring me for my expertise. You're hiring me because you want my experience. So if you're not listening to me, you're wasting my time and yours. Any other person can open the door for you. And I have to have that strict conversation a few times in my career because the people that I attract are very A personalities, very much like me. So, I have high D and high I. I don't know if you're into disc or not, but I'm 99 D, 99 I, which is a very strong personality. And then you bring somebody else who has a similar personality, a surgeon or a lawyer, they want their way. And I have had that happen where we had that conversation and said, I won't tell you how to do a surgery. You don't tell me how to do a real estate. Your reason you hired me. And if you don't want to listen to me, you can do it. Like real estate is very simple. Make your offer and they will fill out the paper and go. But just because you like the house and you want to pay this much amount, then that's not right because I can negotiate it lower. And he said like, okay, fine. As long as you don't lose the house because my wife loves it, you can go negotiate your heart content. And he let me. And I have learned that as long as I'm open to my clients, and sometimes it's very abrupt, but they get it, like why I'm doing it, kind of thing. And that's what brings the business in. So setting goals doesn't work for me. Just taking care of people has always worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell the same thing for our team, like, just take care of them. They will take care of you. And seriously, it's our clients that take care of us. They keep sending us business, theirs, their families, their friends. Like I have one person call me very upset one time. And he said, my name is so-and-so, and this person is my friend. And he said, I have to use you or our 40-year friendship is over. And I just like, oh my God, this is like total blackmail. So I went to meet them for listening presentation. They were not happy when they opened the door. It's like, we are doing it because, we value our friendship, but we had somebody else in mind. I said, that's fine. So I'm not going to be a realtor and I'm going to take it upon me. I'm going to tell them that I'm too busy right now to take another client. So don't worry about it. I do not want your friendship to suffer, but I know why they're doing it. They love me and everything. And I have gotten them a really good deal. And then we just sat and talked, not about real estate. I just like, I have 30 minutes before I have to go to another meeting. So I'm really thirsty. It's middle of summer. Can I have this glass of water and talk? And then I'll leave. And they said, okay. And they brought lemonade. And I just kicked off my shoes, tucked my feet under me, sitting on their sofa. I said, tell me about your life. And I was genuinely interested because it was an 80-year-old couple. I wanted to listen to their life story. And they started talking about how they were childhood or like a teenage, lovers, but then they got separated during the World War. And then how their grandkids put it on Facebook and found each other, and both of them had lost their spouses. They got together, then they got married. It was a beautiful story. And I was like, oh, wow. And it was like fascinating. I said, that was just amazing story. Okay, time is up. I need to go see you. And I said, will you come back? Because we really enjoyed talking to you. I said, sure, when I have time. They said, no, we are going to sell with you. When we went into the kitchen for the second glass of lemonade for you, we just like, this woman is like lifelong friend. She's sitting on our sofa, tucked her feet in, drinking our lemonade and just talking to us like we have known her forever. And I sold their home.
That's amazing. Wow.
It's like relationships. Like, if you treat human beings like human beings, I did not expect that. I didn't do it for that. I was just like, okay, we are not selling their home. They have another realtor. That's fine. But
well, thank goodness you didn't decide to stay working with rocks, because clearly you like people more.
no, I keep telling people, like when I go to conferences, I introduce myself as like, I'm the person who does not like people. I love dogs. And people kept telling me that you love people. I was like, no, not really. I like rocks and I like dogs.
That's awesome. Well, and so actually, I guess tell me a little more about that, because it does sound like you've had some, while your family didn't necessarily support some of the changes you made in your life, you've had some really good friends and a peer network that it sounds like really encouraged you to see what you were really good at and encourage you down that path. And so how big is mentorship in your life now, and you paying that forward with your team and also others? I mean, that's got to play a big role, just seeing how much you're oozing this in our conversation now, just this pay it forward attitude.
I love helping others, especially like if somebody's miserable. So I get a lot of calls. I have multiple businesses. This is not my only business. 2 years ago, I started assisted living because I kept getting calls from people who had to give up their senior animals, dogs, mainly, to our sanctuary because they were moving into assisted living. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, you should be keeping your dogs. You're losing everything. You're losing your home, everything that you have accomplished or accumulated over time. And then they're asking you to give up your life companion. It's a living being. So after having like 8 calls, I was like, I'm going to do it myself. I'm just going to start assisted living. I did not have a clue what I was getting into. And as soon as I put it on my Facebook, like, this is what happened. And 1 month, 8 calls, this is definitely a need. And I called several assisted living in our area to see if we can tie up with them and build some kind of partnership where if people call us, we can send them to these assisted living who will take in their dogs. And each one of them said, oh yeah, we are pet friendly and they can bring their dog as long as they can take care of them, or dog needs to be less than 10 pounds. I said, they're coming to assisted living because they need assistance and you expect them to take care of their dogs. And then 10 pounds, a lot of these people have larger dogs. So that was the main reason. So I put it on Facebook. I was like, I'm so frustrated and I'm just going to do it myself. And few of my friends, like you said, I have a really great friend network, said like, oh, if anybody can do it, you can do it. You are good at solving problems and here's the problem, solve it. I said, okay, let's do it. All of you guys will have to help me. And I'm saying like, let's do it. And 1 year later, exactly 1 year later, we opened our first assisted living. And now we are on our third one. And it's all about dogs. Like, if you are a person who needs to move to assisted living and have a dog, you come to us, kind of thing. And that's, again, became a niche, kind of. And then we have another business where we were doing furnished rentals. Like when I was investing in real estate, these are my dogs playing here. I have a 3-legged dog, Peanut, and I have a 3 and 3/4-legged dog, Sarah, over here. They're playing.
Oh.
Anyway, so when I was doing my investment and my real estate broker thing, I got a call from somebody from Exxon. And they said, like, hey, Priyanka, one of my very good friend is moving here from UK. They don't want to stay at the hotel. Do you have anything that they can stay in? And I was like, no, they have to stay at the hotel, but I can find them a house fast. So if they want me to use as a realtor, I was like, yeah, they're going to use you as a realtor. So this couple comes over with 2 young boys, and they're staying at the hotel at Marriott. And I met them. Really, really, really nice, wonderful couple. We had so much fun together first weekend. A lot of laughter, a lot of looking at homes, different areas kind of thing. They were just getting familiar. Second weekend, it was still okay, not bad. Third weekend, it was miserable. Like, wife was not happy, kids were angry. The guy suddenly said, like, you don't get what we are looking for. And I was like, seems like it. Like, whatever you have told me, we are looking at all those things, but every house that we're going this today, you're walking in and just saying, like, no, this is not what we asked for. So maybe you need to find a different realtor. This is not working out. So let's go grab lunch. And we went for lunch and we were sitting down. I said, let me make a few phone calls. I will call a few realtor friends of mine, see who you click with, and we will figure it out. So we sat down for lunch and wife started crying. And I was like, what's wrong? She said, I'm so sorry. We are being so mean to you. I was like, no, it's okay. Like, sometimes things don't work out. Personalities don't play. And maybe I'm not getting something. It's fine. It happens. It's not a big deal. And she's like, no, that's not it. I said, so what's going on? Like, he is here. He has moved us for his career over here. And he goes to work at 6 o'clock in the morning, coming home around or at the hotel till 8 or 9 in the evening. I'm stuck with 2 boys in a hotel room. How much swimming can you do? We are just frustrated. And we have one car that he's taking, so we are just climbing the walls. And he doesn't understand because he says, like, I'm complaining too much. And I looked at him and he's just like, Priyanka, this is like my new boss, new team. I have to catch on with the project. I have to prove my worth. I mean, I'm still learning everything. So she doesn't understand like how much pressure I have. I understand, like, So I said, okay, I get it. Like, what the problem is, you guys are going to go and stay at one of my homes. So it was a home that I have staged. So it was furnished and it had a pool. I said, go let the kids run around. You guys don't need to look at homes today. So it was Saturday. I was like, Saturday, Sunday, just stay there. I'm going to cancel any appointments that will come through and just spend time as a family, because that you need more than looking at homes. And Monday morning, I got a call from HR. They said, like, hey, so these people are not moving out of your house. They want to stay there. They will let you show the property. We will pay you what we are paying Marriott. And we just want to make sure that you're okay. And Exxon will be paying for it. And I was like, what? And this was like over 10 years ago. And I was like, no, I'm selling the house. Like, I need the equity out of it. So we need to sell the house and I will find them another house. It's like, yeah, they understand that. So they just want to stay until the house sells. So you still have a month or so, you don't have an offer kind of thing. And I said, how much are you going to pay? And when they told me the amount, I was like, what? And I was like, okay, they can stay, definitely, because it was much more than what I would have gotten in rental, as a typical rental. So I said, okay, once they move out, I will sell it at that point. And we found them a home. And as we are coming closer to their closing, I'm telling them, you need to move out. They say, yeah, by the way, one of our friends are moving here for the same project from Belgium. We told them about the house. They want to rent it. And I was like, I will be in off season to sell this house. This won't work, but money is really good. So I said, okay, let's see. And those people came, they stayed there for 6 months. And I just like, this obviously is a need. Why don't I just start doing furnished rentals? And we created a company called Woodlands Executive Rentals. And all we did was buying the investment properties, rehabbing them and furnishing them and putting them as corporate rentals. And that company grew automatically. So because I have so many multiple businesses, I get those calls a lot where people are like, I want to start a business. How do I do it? Or I'm very miserable in my job. And I tell them, like, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm telling you my life story. I'm giving you anything that I have and can help you. You need to find your own path. I'm successful because I'm really loving and enjoying what I'm doing. I love negotiations. That was the best part about real estate. I love making ugly ducklings beautiful. So that's where the investment part comes in. I can go walk into a house and everybody's saying it's ugly, it needs so much. And I put it like, oh, wow, it can look so beautiful. I would try this, I'll try that. And I'm not afraid to lose money or try something out. I have done things where just like, okay, I'm going to try doing this over here. And it didn't work out. It's fine. I'm making money in other places, so I lost some. But that's what makes me successful and make me good at what I do. But that may not be the thing for everybody. Everybody may not have the same skills. So find what is your strength, what is your skill, and I'll help you set up the business part of it. So I have a lot of people I'm not officially mentoring, but they call and it's like, so I have one friend who's starting her bookstore. So I have been working with her for like few years, not few years, few months now, almost a year. Another person called, she has her own small company, which is not working out in COVID. And she called me 3 days back and said, I want to start a different company and I want to start this. And I listened to her, what she wants to do. I said, do you really want to do this? Or you really are thinking you should do this because of the money part? She's like, yeah, I think so. I was like, this is not what you want to do. Let me tell you what you have been telling me and what you would really be good at. And I told her, and she said, oh my God, I'm going to write a business plan and send it to you in like 2 or 3 days because I didn't think about it, that I can create a business out of that. And it's like, yeah, there's a need and you know what you're doing and you're passionate about it. So you should go and do this business versus what you're thinking. So giving back is important, but I don't think of it as like, I need to go out and find people and give back. I know the right people when they need me. They pick up a phone and call me and I'm there for them. But same thing happens with me. Sometimes still today I have questions, I need something, and I have a lot of people in the community that I can pick up a phone, call and say like, hey, what about this? So mentoring is not about finding one person who's gonna help you with everything. It's finding the group of people or your team that has different strengths that you can tap into at different times.
Yeah, wow. Finding that tribe. I mean, that totally resonates. And I think clearly you are very, very good at solving problems and creating a vision, as your friend mentioned. And I am curious, because the reality of the times right now is we are in the COVID era. The coronavirus has changed, has affected all of our lives. And so how are you finding, you need to cultivate and sort of nurture that network and foster, I mean, those connections and create new connections now? Are you using technology? Are you, talking to people on the phone way more, having sales meetings every week? Like, what have you found that works for you?
So COVID has brought some of the best um, technology opportunities out in front that people would not have used. It would have taken us another decade to use, like Zoom. Now everybody's using Zoom, from doing the homework, from school meetings to business meeting to personal. Like we did happy hours. I did happy hours with several of my realtor friends all over the country, and it was fun. But then it's also being taken to extreme where I'm getting bombarded every day from 10 Zoom meetings, 10 seminars, webinars that going on. So it's taking another extreme. So I'm going back to the relationship part because technology was fun in the starting. And I think technology is changing the industry 100%. I think we are going to be more and more virtual. Real estate has always been very emotional, but now people are buying cars, online. So same thing, people are going to get to the point. And I have had done that for relocation clients, people who are moving from other countries, all the FaceTime and showing them homes that way. And then they're making an offer, never ever seeing the home, just seeing it virtually and signing the paperwork and coming over and closing and seeing it for the first time. I think it will become more of a norm. But relationship matter more now than ever. So I have sent people, like my clients, is like, hey, saw on your Facebook that you're looking for a mask. I'm mailing you a couple of masks. And these are my other friends who have made it for us. Right. So I have clients and friends who was just like, Priyanka, you have assisted living. We are going to provide you masks. Oh, like I want to do something. So I'm going to just, make some masks. And suddenly I have hundreds of masks. I was like, okay, what do? We are going to give it to our nurses and doctors in the area. Now they have, all supplied full. Then I see somebody's like, hey, I'm looking for a mask. I was like, okay, let me make you a couple of those masks. And it was past client. And she said, oh my God, you're always taking care of me. It was a small thing. It wasn't a big thing. I had the mask. I saw her need, and I said, I can't come right now, but I'll mail it in 2 days. You will have it. Things like that. I sent somebody a birthday cake from a restaurant that was talking about like, how they are hurting. I said, oh, I can help this restaurant in the area. And then this is my client's birthday. Let's send her a cake. And that restaurant owner, she's like, and it's a woman, she's like, oh my God, you really helped me, because it's like, oh, let me send it to, let me see who all have birthdays, and I booked it. I was like, okay, so next Sunday, deliver it to this person, this Wednesday, deliver it to this person, kind of thing. And she has 5 or 6 orders from me. I posted it on my Facebook, and other people started ordering. It's like, oh, she had amazing cake, so I'm gonna order that. And it helped her, but it helped my clients also. And that's how I'm staying in touch. I wish I would say it's very intentional or it was planned, but it just happens. Like I see something and something clicks and say, oh, let's do it. And then I move on. But it's working because I posted on Facebook my assisted living folks, like we are in lockdown. Nobody can come in, nobody can go. I'm more into organic food, healthy food. So we started posting their thoughts, right? So they were complaining like, I'm feeding them too much organic food and they want burgers, they want alcohol, they want margaritas, they're not seeing their families, they're bored. So I was like, can you believe these people, like, these are older people. So like these people are doing that. And they started making signs. So we posted that on Facebook. You won't believe how many of my clients, my friends were sending them food, drinks. Like one of my clients, he brought 7 or 8 different type of alcohol and delivered it on our porch for them. So it was amazing. And that's how, it's a tribe. It's not just me reaching out, it's also my clients reaching back out to me. And they are going out and saying, okay, we have people who are going and finding cleaning supplies for us because we need so many cleaning supplies at assisted living. And real estate is still going on. And these are my real estate clients who are kind of crossed over into my assisted living business, but it's more not to help business, to help me personally, because they feel like, oh, Priyanka's doing so much, we need to go and help Priyanka. And that's where I think I'm really blessed and lucky. I could have never planned it. No matter how much marketing I do, no matter how much planning I do, I can never force people to care about me. But just because I care about them, they care about me, and it just kind of comes together.
It all comes full circle. This is amazing. I feel like I could talk to you for hours and hours, and also knowing how many Zoom calls you've been on, I want to give your eyes a break. I just want to say your energy is infectious. Priyanka, thank you so much for being here. For everyone watching this, this is Priyanka Johri, who is the broker owner of Woodlands Eco Realty and also business owner of many, many other businesses, as we've learned. This is the Female Founder Series, and if everyone is as inspirational as you, I can't wait for the next installment. So thank you.